All right, you ready? Hello, and thank you for stopping by the Stuff I Heard podcast. I am your host, Joshua Peak. Hello. I'd like to thank everybody for stopping by. Today is Tuesday, the 20th of November. I've been trying to stick to this 2-a-week podcast plan for quite a while. And there are times where it is smooth and easy and I have no problem, and I'm anxious and I feel like I'm running downhill, like I have so much to say I can't even say it all. And there are times where I get on here and I'm really sitting here thinking, what am I going to talk about? I know for a lot of people that's probably not an issue because you're listening. And if you are listening, I'd like to thank you for listening. And I do try to make an effort, like I'm making an effort. A long time ago, my mom had a thing for inspirational quotes, and she used to leave me inspirational quotes from famous people, like cut out of newspapers and magazines and stuff like that. One of the quotes was from supposedly the head of IBM, who said that if you don't make at least 9 mistakes a day, you're not doing enough. People like that motivated her. And nowadays we see that kind of stuff on the internet all over the place. But one of the things that I saw as a kid was from Woody Allen, who, before he became a pedophile who married his own daughter, had a quote that said that 90% of success is showing up. And that struck a nerve with me. Being a young man, I read that and I thought, maybe there's some truth to this. Maybe 90% of this is showing up. Maybe the fact that you're consistent and you're on time and you're available and you're ready matters. And maybe subliminally that was part of the reason why I was focused towards making more of myself by joining the Marine Corps rather than something else. Maybe that determination of not quitting and continuing to go forward even though everybody else wants you to quit, even yourself wants you to not finish whatever task it was that you had ahead of you, you just wouldn't let yourself quit. Because the idea is you show up. You show up. You're accountable. You do whatever is asked. You become the person when they say, I need a guy for it. You go, hey, I'm right here. I'm the guy. What do you need? And you show up. And I've tried to emulate that. I've tried to live that kind of life. And I think that it has served me well in a lot of ways. Successfully with work and with my personal life. I don't think that it's something that I have taught my kids, even though I've tried. You raise your kids as best you can, and you give them information, and then when they're off on their own as adults, they make their own stupid mistakes because they have to learn. They have to find their own way. And it is troubling at times to see your kids fail. I know that in my life, I have failed. And I know that there are times where my mom has watched me fail and probably shook her head and said, why can't I get my son to do the things I know he can do? I've struggled with it. And I've continued on the path, though, of I want to be better. I want to strive to be better. In the Marine Corps, one of your 14 leadership traits that they teach you is know yourself and seek self-improvement. You're only as strong as your weakest link. Find the thing you're the weakest in and improve on it. It will make you better as a whole. Doesn't mean you're going to make your weakest thing your best thing, but it could. But overall, you're going to get better because you've decided to improve yourself. And I think that's a goal that would be great if a lot of people had that mentality. But a lot of people don't have the mentality. A lot of people just want to get in their rut and stay in their rut and not have anybody help them get better or not push them to get better. And they don't want to make better decisions. They're happy with their crappy decisions. They're happy to just continue doing what they were doing. That being said, I noticed, since I talk a lot on here about my diet, I noticed that I made a lot of bad decisions when it came to eating certain foods or drinking certain drinks. And I realized that if I wanted to be a better version of me, that was one of the things I had to change. And thank goodness I had an outlet like my brother to kind of show me an example of what I wanted to do. So thank you, Alex. Thank you for being that gleaming beacon of an example saying, this is what I did and it worked. Now, my brother and I are alike in a lot of ways. We both have a very strong work ethic, and we both are very determined when it comes to doing things. Where we differ a little bit is the fact that I have this platform, and I think a lot of it is because of my brother's job. I think if he didn't have the job he has, he would be more vocal, but I'm sort of the voice that it doesn't fear to say anything and let you know, hey, this is wrong. This is the way you should do things. This is, what you're doing needs to be changed. And I would like to say that serves me well, but it doesn't. It actually gets me in trouble a lot. It pisses off people. Nobody likes to be told what to do. Nobody likes to be told that they're failing. Nobody likes to be told that they're making mistakes. And I have to learn along the way how to address people the right way and to influence them in a better way. My goal is ultimately just to help people, not to make people be better, but to help people get better, to help people succeed. That's one of the reasons I became a trainer at work. I became a trainer just so I could help people achieve goals, because I realized that, we got people walking in the door every day that don't know how to do anything. And I have ability to talk to people. I have an ability and a patience that I can let people learn and make mistakes along the way and hopefully catch them before they fail too bad, but steer them in the right direction so that they can be better people. I would like to think that I'm an optimist. I look at the best possible scenario of a situation and go, if somebody did something egregious, I go, well, maybe they didn't mean that. Maybe they were trying to do this and this is why they did it. But there are times where you just get a glaring example of why people fail and you go, oh, well, this is your choice. You just decided to be a turd. Okay. Is this your long-term goal, or is this just for right now you're just going to be a turd? Because sometimes people just decide to be a turd. You can't live other people's lives as much as you want to. You can't. So, I heard back from the furniture company. I know that I talked before about how we had bought some furniture, and I don't even know if I talked about this. Did I talk about this? Right now there's somebody in the vehicle going, yes, or there's somebody in the vehicle going, no, wait, what? Why the hell do we care about your furniture? Listen, I bought some furniture recently. I bought a new dining table with some chairs because I wanted something smaller. We had bought one years ago for the family, and it's just a giant piece of furniture in the kitchen. It's one of those bar pub style tables. It's really tall, and the chairs on them are pretty tall. My wife is 4'11", and she literally has to kind of jump into them or climb into them to get into them. It's ridiculous. We shouldn't have bought those. I wanted a regular size table. I wanted something smaller that she and I can sit at and be comfortable. So we went looking for a table, and we found one. We found a round one that matches other furniture that we have, and we had it delivered. And the first night that we sat at it, we cut our knees on the undercarriage of the table. The table has this square box underneath it that supposedly holds a leaf, so you can open the thing up and put a leaf in between and make it bigger. I don't care that the thing has it. I really don't. I'd rather it just be round, but I mean, whatever. But I just can't have people getting injured sitting at the table. That's dumb. We sit at the table a lot. Let's face it, every day we're going to eat dinner. So I don't want to cut my knee or risk hurting my knee every time I get underneath it. Neither do I want that happening to my wife or anybody that we have over at the house. So I had to call the furniture people to have them come do it. And, we have a furniture place that we're dealing with right now. It's Knight Furniture, Knight, here in Florence, South Carolina. And they were super helpful. They were like, oh yeah, no problem. We'll come pick it up and, we'll get it fixed. I was like, really? Because looking at it, I crawled underneath and got on my back and was looking up at it, and I thought, I could take a belt sander and take off a good ½ inch and round this corner and smooth it out and maybe restain it, and it might be fine. But I was like, I'm paying good money for this. Why do I need to be doing this? If this isn't what we wanted, this isn't what we wanted. Right? It's a design flaw in my opinion. And when I mentioned it to them and I showed them pictures, they were like, oh yeah, no problem, we'll take care of that. Well, they've only had it for a short period of time and they called and said it's ready. They're going to deliver it tomorrow. Yay. I'll probably make a video once it comes in and I'll show you guys the difference between how it was hitting my knee before we had this done and how it looks now. We also had a coffee table delivered with some end tables. The end tables are perfect. The coffee table had 2 scratches on the top. And I think it was actually from the guys that brought it in. I think maybe it got caught on one of their belt buckles or jacket buckle or something, and it scraped it. It didn't like damage the wood, but it scraped the finish enough that you could see, you know, if you were to walk up to it, you'd be like, hey, what happened to your table? I mean, a brand new table shouldn't be that way. I get normal wear and tear. I have no problem if it's our wear and tear. But we just bought it. You know what I mean? And I shouldn't walk in and immediately look at it and go, what happened to our table? Right? So, anyway, shout out to Knight Furniture. I appreciate you guys, you know, following through and repairing that. And I look forward to seeing the results tomorrow. So, thank you. Thanksgiving. Let's talk about Thanksgiving. Excuse me. I'm still not over this cough. Golly, I know you guys are sick and tired of hearing me cough. Thanksgiving is coming up this week. This year it's kind of early. It seems, well, to me it seems early. It's the 22nd, which is just 2 days away. You know, Thanksgiving comes around and you always hear people talk about things that you're thankful for. What are you thankful for? You know, what are you thankful for? Like, seriously. If I were sitting in front of you and said, what are you thankful for? Think about it for a second and go, that's a good question. Now, if you were to ask me, hey Josh, what are you thankful for? Oh man, I am so thankful for a lot of things. I am thankful for this house. I'm thankful for my job. I'm thankful for my wife and my kids. And even though I want to strangle their necks sometimes, I'm thankful for my family. You know, I'm thankful my dad helped me build this porch on the back and that Trish came and helped him. And I'm thankful for my neighbor Paul who came over and helped us. I'm thankful for my mom for having lunch with me all the time and giving me advice. And I'm thankful for my stepdad for, you know, helping me out whenever I ask and giving me information and guidance. And I'm thankful to my brother for helping me get on this diet. And I'm thankful for the Keto Connect people for allowing so much information to come from them to help you get on this diet. And you know, I'm just thankful for a lot. You know, we got good health and good jobs and our family's okay right now. And, you know, we got a grandson who's healthy and happy, and I'm thankful. I'm also thankful for things that are hard. You know, people often talk about how they're thankful for all the good things. I'm thankful for some of the hard things too. I'm thankful for the fact that our fridge died. I know that sounds crappy, and right now my wife would probably tell you she doesn't agree. I'm thankful that our fridge died, but not for the reason you think. I'm thankful for the fact that years ago I was a single parent with 2 kids, and I was working at a job that I made half as much money as I make now, and I was barely scratching the ability to survive, and my fridge died, and I didn't have any money at all. I worked for a local Budweiser place at the time. It was called Dubard, and they didn't pay any money at all. They paid crappy money. They helped me work around my schedule with my kids, which is probably the main reason I didn't leave them for 7 years. But they paid me dirt, and I could barely afford to make ends meet. I don't know how I kept my head afloat, honestly. There were times where I bought groceries on a credit card and hoped to God that I made enough back in my taxes at the end of the year because I was so broke that maybe I could pay off the credit card. Maybe. And this was a year my fridge broke. I didn't have money for a new fridge, and I didn't have money for groceries for that fridge. And I struggled, and it was hard to get together any kind of resources or even enough debt to go into to get a refrigerator to replace it. And I had to buy the cheapest thing I could find, and it sucked. Now, that taught me a lesson. That taught me that I need to save and I need to plan for the future and I need to be prepared in case things go wrong. And and through following Dave Ramsey's plan of, save for an emergency and pay off your debt using the debt snowball and all this other stuff, we have planned and we have saved and we have paid off stuff and we've planned to be prepared in case anything happened. And even though the fridge went bad and the meat and all the food went bad inside of it, we were able to go to Lowe's and pick out what we wanted and say, I want that one. And following my buddy Jerry Jolly's advice, we did not buy a Samsung because he told me how awful they were and that they break down all the time and that 90% of his phone calls for service is all Samsung devices, Samsung refrigerators. We didn't buy a Samsung. I'm thankful for his advice. I'm thankful that he had that guidance. I'm thankful the fact that I have a podcast and a YouTube page that I can share that information with you guys. Because I want you guys to know that kind of stuff before you go out and make a mistake. Here's a guy that I know and trust and have known since I was in 6th grade. And he's telling me, hey, don't buy this fridge. Buy any other brand, just don't buy that brand. It's awful. It's a terrible brand. They're not making good fridges. And when you go to Lowe's, you look at them and they're the prettiest. They're the only ones that Lowe's actually has in stock. And they're the piece of junk. So I'm thankful I was able to pick out a Whirlpool and go, I want that one. And it got delivered. And I was able to go out and buy groceries. And I didn't go in debt. I had the money saved up. I'm thankful. My wife, I haven't talked about this, and I'm sure she probably doesn't want everybody knowing this. My wife got the shingles. That's what happens when you have chicken pox as a kid. Apparently when you're over 50, you run the risk of, I think the numbers are like 1 in 4. I think that's the statistics. Right now I got medical people listening to this going, you're wrong, why didn't you look it up? Oh my God, Start your own podcast. Then you can talk about it. So anyway, I think it's like 1 in 4 people get shingles if you've had chicken pox as a kid. Shingles, if you Google shingles images, it's going to make you want to vomit. It is awful looking, and apparently it's super, super painful because it embeds into your nervous system. My wife got shingles. Like, we're getting off vacation and we're having to deal with the fridge situation, and she gets shingles. But I'm thankful. I'm not thankful that my wife had to suffer, but I'm thankful for the fact that we caught it early and I was able to take a picture of it and send it to my mom, who is a healthcare professional, and say, hey Mom, do you know what this might be? Because it didn't look like a mosquito bite and it didn't look like ant bites. It looked like something I'd never seen before. And without hesitation, she goes, oh, that's shingles. Do you have that? I said, no, it's Dolores. She goes, oh my God. Yeah, she needs to go to a doctor like immediately. I was like, oh, okay. So she did. She went to the doctor the next day, got some medication that she could take orally and some cream to put on it. And that was a couple weeks ago. And now it's she's, I think, done with the medicine, with the oral medicine, and the cream is helping the other go away. It shrunk down and then it kind of formed a scab over it. So I think we caught it before it got too bad. I mean, hey, if you're going to have a situation happen like that, ain't it great that you have the resources available, that someone's right there to go, ooh, I know what it is, and you need treatment right away, because this is going to be super painful. I'm thankful my wife got shingles. Such a weird thing to say. I am also thankful that they're healing. There's a lot to be thankful for, you know? I'm thankful that the weather is as nice as it is right now. I was looking at my phone, and up where Dad lives right now, they're getting a lot of snow and ice. And he says it's sticking. I just talked to him today, as a matter of fact. I'm sure he would much rather be in Georgia where it's not snowing and he doesn't have to plow snow and he can be outside fishing like he was doing before he went up there. Oh, but he's got snow and ice. Him and Trish both. Oh, the joy, as he would say. I'm thankful for this podcast. I'm thankful for the ability to talk to you guys. I'm thankful to Byron, who cheers me on every time he sees me. Hey man, dig the podcast. Thank you, Byron. Appreciate it. You know, all this stuff matters. Like, it adds up. I figured you can go through life being bitter about things that fail, or you can choose to have a different outlook. I would like to think, like an optimist, that I have a different outlook. Instead of running around like Chicken Little, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, I can look at a situation and go, you look it better. So with that being said, our family is going through a little something right now. We are having a personal issue that I'm not really comfortable talking about yet. But I'm thankful that I have the support of the family, and I'm hopeful that things will get better. I don't know that they will. I have to be realistic enough to know that you can't always get people to do what you wish they would do, and you can't live other people's lives for them. But I'm hopeful. So, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm going to visit the in-laws for Thanksgiving. My wife's sister has a husband who's Batman. Just kidding, he's not really Batman. His name is Charles, and he has a professional life where he used to be a DJ on the radio, like a big time DJ, like, you know, one of these guys that they all think his name is one thing, but his name's really something else. And he's kind of rolled that into a career of being that guy. I kind of joke around and say that he's Batman because, you know, I'm Bruce Wayne, I'm Batman. It's one of those deals. They invited us to go on a cruise with him one time, and they were like, yeah, but if you guys go with us, you got to call him this the whole time. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going. I like you, but I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I would really go out of my way to call you your real name because that's just stupid. I get it. Like, I get it. I get it. You've sold yourself as a persona. I get it. That'd be like Larry the Cable Guy. His name's not really Larry the Cable Guy. But if you were out in a group, would they, you know, would your buddies be like, hey, Larry? Or would they call you your real name? Right? I think his real name is Nelson. But my brother-in-law apparently has wrote a book and has it for sale on Amazon, and he wants me to talk about it, but I told his wife that I'm not, because I don't even know what it is. I haven't looked at it, I haven't held it, I don't know what it is. What I am going to do though is, because he's family and because I care about him and because I like the idea, I think I'm going to do a podcast with him. I'm going to take this down to Georgia with me and see if I can get him to do a podcast where he talks about it. I think that because he had such a career in radio that he could do his own podcast. He's got one of those voices, you know, smoke your whole life, drink coffee. Oh yeah, you do. You know, it's that persona voice that you have on the radio. He's got that. Yeah. I'd like for him to talk about his life a little bit. It'd be interesting if I could get to interview him. I wonder if he'd let me. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, be prepared. That's coming up. And that's it. You get a short one today. Sorry, Byron. You're going to have to click on somebody else's podcast. I can tell you a podcast that I listened to. I totally forgot the whole premise of my podcast. This is stuff I heard. I just got done listening to Joe Rogan interview Dale Earnhardt Jr. That is a good interview. That's a good interview. I'm telling you, that's a good interview. If you're a fan of Joe Rogan or of Dale Earnhardt Jr. or even Earnhardt, like if you're in NASCAR, you're gonna find this interesting. He talks about his dad. He talks about having concussions. He talks about trying to get healed from the concussions. He talks a little bit about cars. He talks a little bit about bow hunting, his family. It's a good interview. I'm telling you, it's good. I enjoyed it. You should check it out. I also listened to him interview Christina Brzezinski. It's taken me a long time to get through that one just because I had no time to do it. But it's a good interview also. But you know me. If Joe Rogan's serving Kool-Aid, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. So, just saying. I haven't had time to listen to anything else. I'm going to on this trip. I got stuff downloaded in my little podcast app and I'm ready to rock and roll. I do have a new group that's following from down in Australia. Hi, Australia's Peaks. My last name is Peak. P-E-E-K. And there's some folks in Australia by the last name Peak. And I just want to say hi. Hi. I don't know if you guys are watching or whatever, but my dad, I think, got in contact with somebody from down there and talked about making a Peak family Facebook page. And now we got Peaks that are logging in and signing on and saying, hey, I'm so-and-so from this area, and it's kind of neat. I dig it. Yeah. So, alright, that's it. I'm out of here. Love you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah. Be thankful.